Welcome back to the channel. It's been a long time since I've uploaded a video, but been busy. Been working on a 2003 Chevy Silverado. I did the rocker panels, cab corners, inner rocker panels, all new mounts, brakes, rotors. That took me a little while to do. And since I think August or something, my best friend passed away, so I had to deal with that. Haven't had much time in the garage. You know, it's how life takes us. Lost ambition. But I'm back, and we'll see how this goes. So we have the Carlisle car show coming up. And in the last 2 years, I've taken the Maverick. And the year before that, I took the Mini Cooper that I built the turbo kit for. And the year before that, we took the 240SX with the RB in it. So I needed something different this year, so I decided I wanted to put a 4-cylinder all-wheel drive into the Mini Cooper. I want to go buy the motor and transmission. It's in New Jersey, which is a couple hours from here. Come to find out that they've already sold the car, so the car's gone, so I can't buy it. Or I'm sorry, the motor swap's gone, so I can't get it. So I was scratching my head trying to figure out what we can do for Carlisle, and we had an idea. And by me, I mean Todd over at Unwrapped. So we started looking around, and we come across this little guy. It's a 2005 Nissan Altima SER. So the SERs came with the 3.5, same motor basically that's in a 350. Basically, different intake, different exhaust manifolds. I don't know too much more that's different, but so the SERs are supposed to come with a 6-speed, but in this car's past life, somebody put a 5-speed in it, pulled the 6-speed out, which is kind of disappointing because that's basically what makes it an SER in my opinion, but whatever. So yeah, manual transmission, that's a plus for me. So 3.5 manual transmission. We're going to be pulling this thing out. I'm going to be pulling this thing out here as soon as it gets warm enough in here. It's like 40 degrees. The gentleman we bought it from said he was coming home and the car sputtered and shut off. So we were hoping it'd be like the fuel pump, relay, something simple. So we got it in here, fired it up, and the motor has raw knock bad. But the benefit of this car, it came with a spare engine, still strapped down to the skid. So the game plan now is I need to pull this motor, transmission, wiring harness, ECU out, and then I'll use this motor, transfer all the accessories from this to this, transmission from that to that, the harness over, all the sensors, and then we will pull this car out into the other garage and pull the parts mini, which is the gray one. I don't know if anyone's ever paid attention, but I have a gray parts Mini Cooper. We'll drag it over here, and then take this motor and transmission, set it in it, and see if I can get everything to line up and fit. We did a bunch of preliminary measurements. It'll be close. We may have to cut a frame rail, maybe. I'm hoping I don't have to. Cut it and plate it. I gotta line up the axles and figure out the wiring, so that's going to be fun. So this is a newer car, so it has NATS, which is the security system basically. I forget what NAT stands for, doesn't matter. Basically it's your key, the ignition, there's a little security box, and all that stuff has to be in place in order for you to start the car for security reasons. So once I pull all this out, I'm going to have to pull the ignition out, and there's a box that it connects to try to get the engine started. I know I can send the ECU away and get all that stuff turned off, but it's like $250. I mean, if push comes to shove, I'll spend the money, but I'd rather just pull the parts out of this and make it work. And once I get it mounted into the Mini and make sure I can start it, get the axles, figure out the fuel pump, which my thoughts with the fuel pump are, instead of using the Mini's fuel pump, I will buy I have one, a spare wall barrel pump I use from SR. It's external, so mount it to a fuel rail, run fuel lines to it, and just run power to it. Well, no, you can either do a toggle switch, or I'll wire into the ECU so the ECU actually kicks it on. That's basically it. So the Mini will use the BCM. We'll leave it in the car, which is the body control module. It'll control all my lights, my doors, my locks, so all that stuff should still just work. And we use the engine's harness and ECU and stuff as a self-sustained entity from the car. Basically just need to run power to it, and then triggered power for the key. I was hoping to maybe figure out a way to use the Mini key, because my Mini still has the actual key, not the little push button. So I should be able to wire that in and make it work without too much invasion into the Mini's wiring. I'd like to keep it separate, but like I said, we'll see. So that's where I am, and hopefully I can record a bunch of this and get some more videos up. I know I've been slacking on the video front. It's been busy. So, alright, I'm going to, hopefully it gets warm in here a little bit, next 20-30 minutes, and then I'll start tearing it apart. I'll probably leave the camera on and do a time lapse and just start tearing stuff apart. So, stay tuned, and I hope this is entertaining. Peace! Alright. So, got the front bumper cover off, got the battery tray out, intake, the intake tube is right here, the air box is right here, battery tray was right here, battery was out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working my way across this and unhooking all these wiring, and as I did up front here, this is the ambient air. I actually have a label maker, so I'm not going to bore you guys with this. I'm going to sit here and label all these, unhook them, and then move on to the next thing, and then I'll bring you guys back when I start tearing big stuff up. Alright, it's been about an hour. Got the whole radiator core sports back here laying. So, core sports off, radiator's out, the AC condenser's out. I bled off all the AC stuff, or vacuumed it out, unhooked all those lines. Got the whole wiring harness off the engine. It's hanging up over here for now. I will admit that Nissan up here, take off both windshield wipers, and there's a plastic cowl, you pull it off. There's a metal tray in here, which is right here. This metal tray, you can unbolt and pull it out, which gives you access to the whole back of the engine. That tray comes out like right here. There was a strut bar, took it off. Now it's time to, I'm going to jack it up, pull the axles out, unbolt the exhaust, unhook the shift linkage right here, unhook both those. Fuel lines, that should be it, and then motor mounts right here, and right here. But I gotta jack it up, get the exhaust off, both axles got to come out. Fuel, that's it. And I'll hook shifters like that should be everything. Oh, and the clutch sleeve, I'll unbolt it. It's out external, so I'll just unbolt it, pick it up, set it to the side. Should be it. Should be another, depending on how bad these axles are, probably another hour maybe. Stay tuned. After 2 hours of fighting, it's finally out here in the ground with the help of Todd from Unwrecked.
I'm not really much help.
He spent the last hour arguing with me, telling me to take the, oh, not arguing with me, telling me to take the subframe out. So I improvised. And I did the handy dandy Sawzall frame
detacho.
After you threw a fit about why would they make it like
this is dumb. Why? I mean, I don't understand why they made these cars like this. You gotta pull a whole subframe out to pull these engines out. It's this poor design.
I was his wife. Instead of listening to his wife, he did it his own way. Which was cutting the frame rail.
It's my life in a nutshell. So anyways, it's out. So when I come back up here, the next video, I'll try to pull the shift linkage out, pull the wiring harness out, pull the dash harness out, pull all the gauge clusters, separate this motor and transmission, get it cleaned up so we can connect it to that engine. And then this car will be out of here into the other garage. We'll get the other Mini out and start mocking it up. Till next time.